Okay, well, I'll turn it back over to Siddharth. If anyone comes up with other questions, just let me know in the chat.
Thanks a lot, David. Those were some really interesting labs, and I think a lot of people would adopt it once it becomes available. So with that, our next speaker is going to be a nice segue to where David ended with grid simulation topic. So we have Dr. Swarup Gugilam. He did his PhD at the University of Minnesota with one of my colleagues, Professor Sairaj Tople. He currently, Swarup currently works at EPRI. And with that brief introduction, I will hand it over to Swarup to talk about the Power System Lab.
Thanks, Siddharth. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Think I should be able to. Can you transfer the share screen?
I think you should already be able to.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Would it be fine if I just project it on my screen?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And I can ask you to move slides.
All right, that works.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. And in this presentation, I'll be talking about the Power Systems Lab. And the last question which Professor asked about the simulation that segment actually will be available through this lab as well if students are interested to explore software tool side of things. And so this lab is built upon the recent textbook we have published. Next slide. So we recently published this electric power system textbooks with renewables, and the simulations are based using PSSE software. Quick notes here are that the PSSE is a commercial tool, but there is a free version for all the students, researchers, academics, which everyone can use to learn the tool. The limitation is on the size of the system that can be used in the trial or the free version, but that's more than suffice for this book as well as for this lab. And that's available for free to download. The next slide contains the links for the requesting the software and things. Another important thing to note here is this lab will be available for free to everyone through the CUSP website. And we are expecting the material and everything to be ready by end of this year. So should be available for starting spring semester next year. And we will also be making some video tutorials, which will also be available for free on our YouTube channel. And we have a live web page associated with the textbooks. All this is already there. The YouTube channel also contains a couple of videos, but I will be publishing more videos in the coming few weeks. So you should start seeing videos being populated there. So please subscribe if you're interested in these tutorial videos, and you can share it with your students as well. All this is to make it easy for students and everyone to learn this PSSE software and perform and learn more about power systems. You know, this tool itself can seem overwhelming, but we are trying our best to make it very easy and where to focus on in that entire tool of many features, let's say. So the next question is why this lab? So students will learn different aspects. They learn about how to model different power system components like synchronous generators, HVDC, transformers, transmission lines, different types of component they learn to model in the simulation software. perform various types of analysis like power flow, optimal power flow, transient stability, and different other concepts you learn in the power system undergraduate course. And at the same time, it also has a graphical interface, which helps students easily visualize the things they are learning to see how the power is flowing, how the flow is changing by triggering some kind of event and things like that. So it will be modeling, power analysis, and visual, all three aspects covered through this lab. And more importantly, the highlight would be that students will be industry ready once they complete this lab. So these are some preliminary list of experiments. We will be adding more to these things, and it will be kind of a live website where, as I said, we'll keep improving things, add more challenges or more things to learn for the students. But just to give you a brief overview, these are some of the things, and I will go through a bit more detail on some of these things in the coming slides. So first thing to focus is transmission line parameters. You can go to next slide. So here we learn about various those complex mathematical equations through our books, right? And which can be very challenging to do it by hand. So students will do learn in their undergrad course through the textbook or whichever textbook you'll follow. But here we are going to teach you how to use some modern tools. So here we'll be using the line prop tool by PSSE, where you can model that transmission line design into the tool as shown in the bottom of the slide with those dots, distance, and configuration of the transmission line, and it will automatically generate those transmission line constants and parameters for you. And then students can verify what they calculated by hand for a simple example and the software, and kind of make sure, yeah, okay. So they know the theory, they know the practical use, and they also learn the software tool. So that will be covered in this experiment. The next aspect will be the modeling aspect, as I was mentioning, to learn different components, how to model these things. The first and foremost would be is to how to create a completely new, let's say if you're trying to build a new power flow grid or power system in the tool. So we'll show from scratch, how do you insert all these different graphical elements like generators, bus, transmission lines through the GUI. So there will be video tutorials covering this as well, and students will do that by themselves, hands-on in the lab. So once they build this, as part of this, then we'll start adding more complex components. So the next would be, for example, HVDC modeling, as mentioned the next slide. Here again, they learn all this HVDC individual component, how they get added into the system, into the PSSE software, and how to set those parameters, and then they will learn about different controls of this HVDC component. So, and this is true in general for any component. So they learn how to model this component, set the parameters, and then there will be different sub-minor experiments to control or perform various action items. Like for example, fixing the total reactive power flow or total active power flow, or fixing the voltage on AC side, DC side. So all these different type of controls, they will learn and see how the flow changes, how the things behave as they play around with this different action item. So these are the things we are planning to include in these lab experiments, which you won't learn or much in detail during your theoretical coursework. The next important would be a pretty preliminary version of modeling inverter-based resources from steady state perspective. If the time persists and the first target would be from steady state perspective, but we may get into dynamics later as that gets complicated for IBRs and it's an ongoing research. But for beginning, we introduce this VEC model on how to model this IBR resources in a power grid from a transmission perspective and steady state model perspective. So students will learn how to design these different segments of this IBR model. So again, another component, StatCom, the main difference here is compared to other devices is it has a linear voltage current relationship. So you'll see how setting the voltage provides the reactive power control at that bus and how much reactive power the StatCom provides. So all these are different things which students will learn as part of these experiments. So those are some of the component segment. And then again, going in detail on the analysis side of things, one would be something like transient stability analysis, where students will learn to apply a fault and see how the flow behaves, how the rotor angle curve looks like, when the stability occurs or instability occurs, those kind of analysis they will learn in bit more details. They learn to perform those power flow, basic power flow, Newton-Raphson power flow, DC power flow, the one shown on the slide, optimal power flow. And even in the optimal power flow, here you see there is no overload or congestion on the transmission line, but we will include some sub-experiments that what happens if there is a congestion on the line? How does the cost changes and fuel changes and those kind of things. So there will be a bit of economic dispatch perspective as well, which is included in the book as well. As we mentioned in the beginning, the lab will be closely associated with the book, but yeah, we are not enforcing it to that, oh, use this. But yeah, so this all will be, these are all the things which students will be learning. And the final aspect which I wanted to mention is more importantly, Python. Python is growing very strong. It's a very easy to learn tool, pretty accessible, and has a lot of user base and support with a lot of libraries to use for various applications. That includes analysis, visualizations, even data analytics, even the new upcoming artificial intelligence, machine learning, lots of stuff is there. And what PSSE allows, they have added is they have made it accessible via Python API or interface, which students can use, basically write a Python code, use the PSSE engine to perform power system type of analysis, take the results, and then you can further do more analysis from data analysis perspective or any other application as well. So we will not be teaching like the basic Python per se, but we will provide like tools and resources. There are tons of YouTube online courses or YouTube videos on Python. What we will be focusing on is the PSSE Python coding or interface itself, how to write or use the PSSE functions in the Python environment, access those and perform some basic operations like power flow and other things which you just saw before, which we were doing through graphical interface, but now through the Python code. What this will give benefit to students is to start automating things, especially when you want to do lots of bulk analysis. Imagine you do one scenario analysis through GUI, you will take few minutes, that's fine. What if you have hundreds of scenarios, or if you are doing like a day ahead analysis in real time for 24 hours, you have 24 scenarios to analyze. You need to start having those automation for bulk analysis. So that's all the things which students will learn through this lab. Again, this is just a brief overview. We'll most likely end up with a lot more for you all, but just wanted to give some highlights on what we are trying to achieve and cover. And all this will be available for free. So we are very open for suggestions and feedback. Or if you have any topic ideas that should be included, let us know and we can see what we can work on. And I see a comment in by Richard that their students also prefer Python for simulation. So yeah, that's definitely a growing trend over there. Yeah, any questions?
Well, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
The Python PSSE feature, is that also free as part of the 50 node version, or
Yes.
require some like, okay.
Yeah, so all the features are available through the free version. The only restriction they have is the size of the system you can analyze. So let's say if you have what we call in Power Grid, like let's say 20 nodes or 30 node system. So the free version allows up to 50 node system, but in practice or in real time utility cases, they are usually like 10,000 nodes or 80,000, 90,000, things like that. But the restriction is just on the size of the system, but all the features, including Python, are available. Any more questions? Okay, well, thank you. And yeah, I mean, you have the email ID of Professor, mine. Feel free to reach out. So yeah, back to you, Siddharth.
Thank you, Swaroop. And as Swaroop mentioned, if anybody has any questions, we will be posting these recordings on the CUSP website. I've shared the link in the chat window. So once the workshop is done, we'll break up the videos and post it on the CUSP website. And you can also go and visit the previous workshops. Those are all also available on the CUSP website. So with that, I will continue the presentation on the drives and the power electronics laboratory. After that, we'll take it should take about